It began with a broadcast, cold, triumphant, cruel. On every frequency across the Perseus Arm, the X-Wire Dominion transmitted their victory, footage of Alara 9 burning. Once a human colony world, its oceans boiled beneath orbital bombardment, its skies blackened by ash, millions of voices silenced in hours. The Dominion's warlord, High Strategos Jal Tor, stood upon the bridge of his flagship Crucible of Dawn, addressing his assembled armada. "The primates of Sol," he declared, "have grown arrogant. They dared colonize beyond their cradle, pretending to stand among the stars. Let Alara 9 remind them, the galaxy belongs to its true inheritors. Humanity is but a flicker in the cosmic dark, and we have snuffed it out." The Xyre's laughter echoed through the comms. Their ships, obsidian and gold, drifted over the burning planet like carrion birds. In their arrogance, they left their broadcast open. They wanted Earth to hear. They wanted humans to know despair. They didn't know what they had just done, because Alara 9 was not just another human colony. It was a trade world, neutral, open, shared. Among its population were not only humans, but traders, refugees, and scientists from 24 species. The Dominion's bombardment had not merely slaughtered humans, it had killed everyone. Arrogance in the ashes for days, the Exir celebrated. Their news feeds replayed the lesson they had taught the upstart species from Sol. Earth alone, their commentators sneered, a single world of animals pretending to be a civilization. In Xir war halls, officers boasted of their victory. In alien marketplaces, Dominion merchants sold scavenged relics from the ruins, rings, journals, children's toys, as human curiosities. Jal Tor held a grand feast aboard the Crucible, his generals dining beneath banners made from captured human flags. The Dominion's ships orbited the cinders of Alara 9, their weapons idle, their arrogance total. "They won't fight back," Jal Tor said, sipping blue flame wine from a crystal goblet. "Humans bark, but they do not bite. Their fleets are fragmented, their governments weak, their allies non-existent." The officers around him laughed, toasting to their commander. "Earth stands alone," one said. "Earth is alone," another added. "And soon," Jal Tor concluded, "it will kneel alone." But as the laughter faded, one junior officer, a comms specialist, spoke hesitantly. "Sir, there are signals." "From whom?" "Non-human sources. Dozens of them. Across multiple sectors. Ignore them. They're scavengers or traders." The officer nodded and silenced the alerts. The Crucible's bridge fell quiet. Again, none of them knew those signals were not traders. They were warnings, and they were not meant for the Dominion. They were being sent to Earth. When the silence broke for 72 hours after Alara 9's fall, Earth remained silent. No statement, no declaration, not even a whisper. The galactic networks mocked the Terran's quiet. "The humans hide in their cradle," one Xir commentator jeered. "Perhaps they finally realize what they truly are. Insignificant." But while the Dominion celebrated, deep beneath the surface of Luna, the Council of Sol convened. Admirals, diplomats, intelligence chiefs, all stood in grim silence around the hollow display of Alara 9's destruction. "They didn't just hit us," Fleet Admiral Sato said. "They hit everyone. The Kavari had an embassy there," whispered another. "The Orelli, too." 17 species represented, said Sato. "All dead." The Council's decision was unanimous. This would not be a war of defense, it would be a reckoning. Across the void, Earth's silent gears began to turn. The Martian shipyards lit up for the first time in decades. Lunar dry docks unsealed their buried titans, ancient dreadnoughts from the last Terran expansion. The call went out across human space, summoning every fleet, every ship, every weapon. And beyond humanity's borders, messages began to move. Not military orders, not threats. Invitations. The same messages that had reached the Kavari, the Orelli, the Vroon, the Vexari, the gentle cloud beings of Lannis Fee. Each message began with the same words. They thought Earth alone, but we remember Alara 9, and one by one, the replies came back. The Orelli remember. The Kavari grieve. The Vexari burn for vengeance. Lannis mourns. The galaxy had seen the Dominion's cruelty. And now, for the first time in living memory, they would see humanity's answer. The gathering storm. The Dominion's arrogance began to crack when their border worlds went silent. First, a mining outpost on Tarsus. Then a supply convoy. Then a fortress moon. Reports flooded in. Ships lost without distress signals. Colonies gone dark. Defense grids offline. Jal Tor dismissed them at first as pirate raids. But soon, Entire sectors vanished from his command map. Scouts returned whispering of impossible fleets. Vessels bearing markings of multiple species, moving as one formation. One report described them. They come from the dark between stars. Kavari spearships, Oreli carriers, Vexari biovessels, and Terran dreadnoughts at their heart. Their formation, it's coordinated, united. They call themselves the Coalition of the Fallen. For the first time, Jaltor hesitated. He opened the transmission logs from Alara 9. In the final moments before the bombardment, a human distress beacon had broadcast one phrase, barely noticeable, easily dismissed at the time. A coded phrase, simple and chilling, signal the Allies. When Earth spoke, the first official Terran transmission since the massacre was received across every Dominion channel simultaneously. It was not a declaration of war. It was a statement. The face of Admiral Sato appeared, calm and cold, eyes like void steel. "We have heard your message," she said. "You wished to remind us of our place. You believed we stood alone. You were mistaken." The feed flickered. Images of fleets assembling, carriers stretching across the stars, biovessels pulsing with alien light beside human warships. "You taught us pain. We will teach you consequence, for Alara 9, for every life you took. This is your only warning." The broadcast ended, the stars went quiet, and then came the war. The fires of retaliation, the Coalition of the Fallen, struck with precision born of fury. The Zeers, first line of defense, 300 warships, was erased in 12 minutes. Human dreadnoughts, bristling with rail cannons and particle lances, formed the vanguard. Behind them, Kavari rift fighters blinked in and out of existence, their weapons cutting through shields like smoke. Oreli carriers launched drones in shimmering waves that darkened the void. Vexari biocruisers enveloped Dominion ships, their living hulls secreting acid clouds that ate through armor. Each world the Dominion had claimed became a tomb. When the Exile tried to retreat, they found their hyperlanes blocked by Lani's distortion fields, vast clouds of sentient gas bending gravity itself to trap them. Every path led to ruin. Every defense crumbled. Jaltor's commanders screamed for reinforcements, but none came, because the Dominion's own vassal species, those once cowed into obedience, had risen in rebellion. Emboldened by humanity's stand, across the stars, oppressed species turned their weapons on their masters. The war that began with one massacre now burned through empires, and at the center of it all, the human fleet advanced, silent, relentless, merciless. They did not taunt. They did not gloat. They answered. The fall of the Crucible. The Crucible of Dawn stood as the Dominion's final bastion, orbiting their homeworld of Xyraxis Prime. Jaltor watched from his bridge as the horizon filled with light. Tens of thousands of ships, human and alien alike, emerging from hyperspace. The Coalition's formation stretched so wide it eclipsed the planet's sun. Jaltor activated the planetary comms. "You cannot defeat us all," he roared. "We are millions! You are—" A voice cut through his transmission. "Calm. Human. We are not alone." The signal was followed by a single, deafening tone, the activation pulse of Earth's planetary siege weapons. The Terrans had brought orbital mass drivers capable of shattering moons. Jaltor's sensors screamed warnings as projectiles launched at near-relativistic speed. They hit like the wrath of gods. The Crucible of Dawn, the same ship that had once rained death on Alara 9, was torn apart in a blaze brighter than sunrise. When the light faded, the Dominion was gone. Their fleet scattered. Their homeworld burned. The Coalition did not conquer. They cleansed. The aftermath of fury. When the guns finally fell silent, a strange peace settled across the galaxy. The Dominion's symbols were erased, their slave worlds liberated, their war banners reduced to ashes. In the ruins of Xyraxis Prime, the Coalition raised no flag. Instead, they built a memorial, a single monument of black stone. No names, no emblems, only one inscription, carved in every known language. They thought Earth alone, but found endless allies. The galaxy learned a truth that day, one older than war and deeper than fear. Humanity is patient, humanity is kind. But when wronged beyond forgiveness, when their kin and friends are slain, humanity becomes something else entirely. They do not fight alone. They never fight alone. Because for every world they've touched, for every species they've befriended, for every life they've stood beside, there are those who remember. And when Earth's voice calls, the galaxy listens. Epilogue. The whisper years later, traders would still whisper the tale of Alara 9 and the Dominion's fall. In the farthest bars of the Outer Rim, smugglers would murmur warnings over their drinks. Never cross a human. In the archives of liberated worlds, the story was taught to children, not as myth, but as memory. And somewhere, deep in the void where Alara 9 once stood, a small beacon still blinked among the drifting dust. Its signal was faint, but endless. We are not alone.